So my wife and I this last weekend, participated for the first time in one of these St. Louis traditions that people that grew up here and have lived here a long time, they'll just be amazed. It's the first time I've done this, but we did a trivia night.
Oh, yeah.
We had not yet participated in this wonderful St. Louis tradition, but our kids' school, Green Pines Elementary out in Rockwood Schools, was having a trivia night, and some friends had invited us, and so we're doing our first trivia night, and luckily we had a really good table, and by that I mean everybody else knew what they were doing and had been to these trivia nights before, and I realized really quickly that it's like they're sort of like crossword puzzles. People that do trivia nights know sort of the areas that get asked about frequently, and we had a couple of people that were veterans and were really good, and no matter what the topic, they were ready, and I think my wife and I helped with like 3 answers, so we felt like we contributed. But here was the great part, and this is by way of introduction to Mac Bradley, our foreign minister of Mardi Gras, who's going to explain about the Cajun cook-off. So we ended up tied for first with 2 other tables. And, obviously if I had contributed more, we would have won. But we end up tied for first, which is good. And it's getting late, and they hadn't yet figured out. Apparently, we broke some trivia rules. You're supposed to have these tiebreakers figured out. They hadn't had a tiebreaker figured out. So the guy who was running the trivia night for our program decides, okay, so the 3 tables that are tied, we're going to do some Mardi Gras trivia. To figure out the winner, and all 3 tables were pitiful. We went through like 4 rounds of Mardi Gras trivia, including what day's the parade this year, or we couldn't.
If you only had Mac Bradley on your team.
If we do this again, I'm going to be ready. But we didn't know anything. So that's why we have Mac Bradley here with us today. Mac is, he has a cool title. He's the foreign minister of Mardi Gras. Mac, how you doing?
I'm good. I should have been on last week, I guess. Then you would have won.
Then I would have won.
Exactly.
All these things.
Yeah.
I mean, there were questions about the colors and the history of Mardi Gras, and then it was breaking it down. They thought they'd finally get an easy one for dates. We ended up just literally picking numbers out of a hat. We didn't win. But so tell us about the Cajun cook-off that's this weekend. This is sort of a big kind of Mardi Gras kickoff thing.
Yeah,
what's going on?
This weekend sort of accelerates everything between now and Fat Tuesday. So Saturday is the Lumiere Cajun Cook-Off. It's back in Soulard this year for the first time in many years. We had it outside Soulard for several years because there was no venue large enough, no indoor venue in Soulard large enough to do it.
You don't want to have a chili cook-off outside?
Yeah, I think we do enough outside events if it's all the same to you guys in the middle of winter. So we decided to build our own. So we built a huge heated tent with its own flooring and everything in Soulard Market Park, right next to the market. And we're going to do the Cajun cook-off there on Saturday from 11:30 to 4:30. And Friday night, the night before that, is the wine, beer, and whiskey taste in the same location from 7 to 11.
Now, how are you going to get back and forth between that and the Burnin' Love Fest?
It's going to be tough. We're really close on molecular transport. I think it's what, Thursday? So by tomorrow night, we should be okay.
Well, yeah, the Burning Love is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll be okay.
You'll be okay.
We got a whole day to nail down the details.
Now, who was taking part in the Cajun cook-off? Are these like local chefs?
Yeah.
Or just regular folks?
So there's a pro and an amateur division. So 10 pros and 10 amateurs. And we've got a great list of pros, people like Josh Galliano and Jack McMurray and people like that. So it's going to be a really good event. Actually, we're excited about it every year, but the caliber of chefs that we have this year on the professional side is really, really great. And speaks to the fact that St. Louis still has this rising culinary elan about us.
Ooh, I like that
that's
word.
my word of the day.
That's a foreign minister kind of.
We say that a lot in the foreign ministry. We use that a lot.
Yeah. Had you been a Lord Chancellor of something, you probably wouldn't have known that word.
Well, so lucky me.
So I have judged before barbecue contests and chili cook-offs, and the thing I found at barbecue contests is that I didn't know about until I got involved in judging a couple of them. There's all sorts of rules. I mean, this is really a big world that's out there about these sort of cook-offs. Tell us about the Cajun cook-off in terms of what are they cooking? What are the rules? What do they have to limit themselves to, and that sort of thing?
Well, so it has to do with ingredients, right?
Mm-hmm.
And plus, it's got to meet the judges' taste in a broad sense in terms of what's really Cajun.
Okay.
That's a big thing. I don't think a lot of people even know what Cajun is.
Right. And of course, different judges are also going to have a slightly different take on that too. So as a participant, you want to be inventive. You want to be original, but you don't want to get too far afield, right? So the judge says, well, this is interesting, but it's not really Cajun. And then plating is also a big part of it too, the visual piece of it as well.
Now, are there different categories like a jambalaya and a gumbo and that sort of thing, or is it just sort of wide open as long as you feel you fit within that that Cajun umbrella? You may just have lots of different things competing against you.
Right, which we like because again it gives the chefs an opportunity to be as creative as they want to be, within this broad category.
Okay, so you should know this by now, Tony, since you were doing the trivia night. This kind of kicks off a lot of things that are taking place prior to Mardi Gras. When is Mardi Gras actually, and the big parade and everything? Tony?
March 1st comes to mind as something. Something is March 1st, I know.
See? He can be taught. Saturday, March 1st is the Bud Light Grand Parade, which is what most people think of in St. Louis when they think of Mardi Gras.
Right.
It's March 1st, so it's it's going to be like 55 degrees.
It's going to be lovely.
It should.
That's
be
what
great.
Zimmerman said. I don't know. I just made that up, but I'm sure he will say that at some point. So that's Saturday, March 1st. The Mayor's Ball is the night before, which raises money for the Mardi Gras Foundation. At City Hall. Fat Tuesday, of course, is Tuesday, March 4th.
March 4th.
That's the downtown parade on Washington Avenue. Grand Parade starts at 11 on that Saturday. And then in between here and there
the big pet parade.
Taste of Soulard weekend, the 22nd, and Saturday the 22nd, Sunday the 23rd, and the Beg and Pet Parade on the 23rd, which now, according to Guinness Book of World Records, is the largest costumed animal parade in the world.
I've been just about every year since I've lived here.
Yeah.
And I've judged the contest.
Yeah.
It's humongous, and it's amazing. It really is. It's just quite a sight. It's an experience.
I'll tell you what, the pet parade these days is as big as the Grand Parade used to be back in the early 90s.
I believe that.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So I should bring my dog. I haven't done the pet parade yet.
Yes.
What should I dress him as?
Anything in purple and green,
as ridiculous as you're willing to get.
Yeah.
I think is the general rule.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Where do we stand as far as next to New Orleans? As far as, are we the second largest?
Does New Orleans do one too?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I know. I read about it. I heard about it at trivia night. Actually, somebody told me that New Orleans did one too. We're one of the largest in the country in terms of a single day event. Our Saturday Grand Parade is probably, if not the biggest single event, because New Orleans does lots of parades.
Right.
Certainly one of the biggest.
We're huge. Mardi Gras, it's coming up. But this weekend, Cajun Cook-Off, February 15th. Thank you, Mac Bradley. You're listening to the Big 550 KTRS.